Tonight, how local hospitals are preparing ahead of the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Plus, an area nonprofit receives a helping hand to make sure help is available to anyone who needs it. And a sigh of relief for Wisconsin restaurants as millions of dollars of financial assistance heads their way.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. As we get closer to possible vaccine approval, Minnesota's senior U.S. Senator is making sure the Northland is not forgotten in the state's distribution plan. Senator Amy Klobuchar said she knows the vaccine is not just going to land itself into Duluth, Hibbing, or Grand Marais. The Democrat is working with legislators to make sure there's a solid plan in place involving trucks, planes, and more. She's also trying to secure funding for special freezers to keep Pfizer's vaccine at its recommended storage temperature, which is nearly 100 degrees below zero.
And not even the Baudette car testing place could handle it. So we need to have these about $10,000 freezers. We don't want them just in the Twin Cities. We've got to make sure that we have them in the Northland as well.
Klobuchar says she's also working to get stimulus money approved for both businesses and those who are unemployed. Duluth hospitals, like many across the country, are preparing for both how they'll receive the vaccine and distribute it. CBS3's Emma Quinn shares what hospital officials say the road ahead will look like and who could be the first to receive those vaccinations here at home.
Once the U.S. approves COVID-19 vaccines, Twin Ports hospital leaders expect they'll receive shipments 1 to 2 days later.
Vaccinating isn't new to us, so we're going to leverage what we know how to do as a healthcare organization.
Essentia health officials have been preparing for shipment and distribution for several months now.
A lot of planning's been done. We're meeting on actually 3 to 4 times a week right now to get prepared for what we think will be coming about mid-December.
Preparations include distributing the vaccine to Essentia and St. Luke's facilities, educating providers and staff on how to administer the vaccine, and ensuring there is proper storage.
There's some unique circumstances with storage and distribution, particularly the Pfizer product being the ultra-cold storage temperatures that are required.
Here in the Northland, officials say frontline workers will be the first to be vaccinated.
St. Luke's will be following CDC and the Minnesota Department of Health recommendations. So the first group is the healthcare workers. It's called stage 1.
Essentia will also be vaccinating those living in their long-term care facilities. Both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines require 2 doses. Hospitals are working on logistics within their healthcare systems to track who's gotten which dose.
Both hospitals have been working with the Northeast Regional Preparedness Coalition on vaccine shipments. Hospitals are encouraging everyone to talk with their healthcare providers prior to getting a vaccine. Wisconsin hopes to have vaccines ready to distribute by the middle of the month. State health officials say that's when they expect to receive nearly 50,000 doses. They say they'll work alongside 97 local health departments, along with tribes, healthcare providers, pharmacies, and more to distribute the vaccine. More than 1,100 providers and nearly 500 organizations have submitted forms to become vaccine providers. Help is on the way for Wisconsin restaurants hammered by the pandemic. Governor Evers announced today the state is sending $45 million in CARES Act money to restaurants and other small businesses affected by COVID-19. That means $220 million in relief money has gone to Wisconsin businesses this year. But the governor warned of problems on the horizon, with federal relief expiring December 31st.
Wisconsinites all across our state will still need to pay rent and keep the heat on. And businesses, farmers, and nonprofits will still be fighting every inch to keep their businesses operating.
Evers says that's why he sent a letter to those representing Wisconsin in Washington, urging them to pass another COVID relief bill before the end of the year. Meanwhile, Big Top Chautauqua in Washburn is also getting much-needed money help from the state. Wisconsin is just distributing $15 million in CARES Act relief funding to 96 live music and entertainment venues. $281,000 of that is going to Big Top. The nonprofit venue had to cancel all summer concerts and events. Wisconsin's highest court has refused to hear President Trump's latest lawsuit regarding the state's election results. Trump has sued, trying to overturn his loss to President-elect Joe Biden. Today, the Wisconsin Supreme Court said the case must first make its way through lower courts. But in his court filings, Trump's team has said there isn't time to do it that way since Electoral College voters cast their ballots next week. Biden defeated Trump by nearly 20,700 votes in Wisconsin. A teenager accused of killing 2 people during unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is headed to trial. A court commissioner ruled today there is enough evidence against 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. He's accused of shooting 2 men during an August protest. Rittenhouse's attorney claimed the teen was acting in self-defense. He's charged with homicide and attempted homicide. The unrest in Kenosha that night followed the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Meanwhile, attorneys for the teen charged with injuring 8 people during a shooting at a Wisconsin mall are trying to stop his case from moving to adult court. The shooting happened last month near Milwaukee. During a virtual court hearing today, a Milwaukee County judge says he plans to make a decision in February. The 15-year-old faces 8 felonies. Let's head over to Dave for a quick look at the weather. Dave, not too shabby out there once we got into the day a little bit.
Yeah, the temperatures weren't bad. They started warmer this morning than they did yesterday morning, and the daytime highs got to be about 10 degrees warmer than normal.
All right.
But that's not great news for those who are carefully shepherding what little snow we have around our region. Didn't really help to have high temps close to 40 in Orr and Hibbing, and Superior too. And over towards Ironwood and Watersmead, upper 30s there. It did crack 40 right by the lake in Grand Marais. And we just might have a very similar range of temperatures again tomorrow. Part of the warmth comes from some clouds that have popped up here in our area. Our nation is still being dominated by highs this week, but when you get 2 highs flanking your area and they're pushing down, what goes down must come up somewhere. Flipping the old rule around a little bit in the middle, that forms up a trough of lower pressure. So we have clouds tonight and maybe some clouds tomorrow as well. Should be partly cloudy for our Thursday into Friday. And we'll be taking a look then at high temps coming to about 31 degrees after a morning start at 22, which is warmer than normal and just might linger. We'll talk about for how long coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. As Duluth's harsh winter sets in, those experiencing homelessness need resources to keep them safe. CBS3's Natalie Grant explains how a big donation is helping one Duluth organization make sure everyone gets the help they need.
For the last 5 years, Duluth Harbor Mission has been helping those experiencing homelessness on the west side of the city. Now a $10,000 grant is on its way to continue to support those in need.
The grant provided by AT&T will go towards various expenses at the mission. Their goal is to provide those experiencing homelessness, addiction, and abuse with basic needs like clothes or a meal. Duluth Harbor Mission says they have seen a dramatic increase in the number of people in need of their help this year. Executive Director Veronica Crulio says that this year has been challenging, and the personal relationships they are used to building with those who come through their doors are just not possible with COVID restrictions.
So for us here at Duluth Harbor Mission, what's changed for us is that we have to serve out the door. Serve our lunches, give them the blankets, the shoes, the boots, the things that they might need through the door. And it's breaking our hearts because we're used to having folks come in and sitting with them and talking about them and seeing what other needs they might have.
Crulio says the Duluth Harbor Mission Board will be meeting soon to discuss where the grant money will be going specifically, but right now they are just happy for the support.
Now, despite this grant, Duluth Harbor Mission says that they're always looking for community support. If you'd like to donate, right now they say that they are in desperate need of some winter gloves.
Thank you, Natalie. And if you would like to donate to Duluth Harbor Mission, you can stop by Monday through Saturday. Tonight at 10, we hear from one volunteer about why resources like these are vital to the community. The deadline to draw on COVID-19 housing assistance is drawing closer, and Minnesota's governor is urging people in need to take action. You have until Monday, December 7th to request help. Earlier this year, the state allocated nearly $300 million to help COVID-impacted Minnesotans with rent, utilities, and more. Only about $70 million has been used. If you're behind on your payments, you could be eligible to some of that money. The state's lieutenant governor says helping struggling Minnesotans is their priority.
Working to keep people housed and support people experiencing homelessness has been a cornerstone of our pandemic response because housing is a public health issue and homelessness is a public health issue.
You can apply for assistance by calling 211. We also have information on how to fill out the application on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Still to come, restaurants got creative this summer with outdoor dining, but with the cold setting in, we're hearing from one distillery that is keeping outdoor dining going while keeping customers warm.
Here's the almanac for today, and the top temp was 36 after a morning start of 24 here in the Twin Ports. Warmer than normal on both occasions here. And this is a trend that may last for a while. We'll talk about it with our 7-day in more detail in just a few more minutes.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3. Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live, local, CBS3.
Find the home of your dreams with Homes by Edmunds. Whether you're buying or selling, trust Duluth's oldest real estate company, Homes by Edmunds, LLP. Sunday mornings at 10:30 on CBS3.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Chicken, beef, gyros. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health orthopedic surgeon Jefferson Davis talks about treating troublesome feet and ankles, which could involve fusing a joint or complete reconstruction.
Obviously, we walk every day, and we're on our feet most of the days, most of us are, and a lot of these people have disabling pain that they just can't deal with. Our bodies aren't made to last forever. They wear out, tendons wear out, the tendons that hold up our arches wear out, our feet get flat, some with time. People have sporting injuries, twist their ankle, rupture their ligaments. Those sometimes need to be reconstructed. I see quite a few people for flat foot, progressive flat, their arch has fallen, they're having increasing pain. I see a lot of people for what they call Haglund's deformity, or a bump on their heel that's rubbing on their Achilles tendon and causing a lot of pain in their heel. I also see a lot of people for ligament instability of their ankle.
Dr. Davis says technology has made the procedures he performs much more precise.
They are computer guided in that we take a CT of the ankle before we do the ankle replacement. We send it away and they make specialized jigs that just fit onto that person's anatomy, and that enables us to put pins in the exact places, take those jigs off and put on the regular cutting blocks that we cut the bone with, and it cuts it very precisely. It's better than anything when you have a patient that's happy and has had a good result, that there's no replacement for that. So yeah, that's why I do this.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medicalinsight.
I come bearing gifts.
For Noah, a water gun.
Wow. Catch.
Okay, really thought you'd catch that.
Hey, Forrest, you just get Noah a water gun? There's a reason he's never had one.
It's neon blue.
It's not about the color of the gun. It's about the color of my son.
Ooh, don't get me started. I was about to get started.
Don't get started, baby.
I'm glad you didn't get started.
A new unicorn tonight on CBS.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Fond du Luth Casino. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Heritage Window and Door. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, we've got high pressure controlling the United States now, and that's keeping a lot of precip away from most areas in almost the entire country. But in our neck of the woods, there's just enough of a little bit of lower pressure wedged in between two highs to give us a couple of clouds. And it made for a beautiful sunset here tonight. Greg Anderson sent us this picture. It's Jean Duluth Road over by the soccer fields. You know, just a little way off the picture this way. My wife used to run a 2-acre vegetable farm there for the farmers market circuit, so I know that area pretty well. Right now, ground a little bit too frozen to till, but there's not much snow on it, and that's probably the way it's going to stay for at least a week, because all of this high pressure is going to keep decent snows a long way out of our region. Not much hope for snow fans this week at least, but we'll talk more about that after looking at the current conditions. It's 33 at the airport. We have 61% relative humidity. A westerly northwesterly winds going a consistent 13 miles per hour, and our air pressure is a bit high at 29.87, but it's not as high as it was yesterday, again, because a trough of lower pressure is trying to work its way in between a couple of those highs, and that's creating some clouds and maybe a very slight flurry chance for the snow belt. And that's about all there's going to be for the week ahead. Current temps towards the snow belt, Upper Peninsula, 34 degrees from Watersmeet to Ironwood, and passing over towards Odana and Ashland as well. A little bit warmer, 35 in Hayward, 36 Superior, but down to 30 for Moose Lake. Running lower 30s here for much of the North Shore. Up the Gunflint Trail, 27 degrees. Towards Ely, 32. 32 as well, Hibbing, Chisholm, Nashwauk, and Keewatin. 33 Grand Rapids, and 30 straight up from Orr towards International Falls. Lows tonight in northern Minnesota inland. Could be in the upper teens, but for the rest of us, I think lower 20s is going to be where things are going to descend to. Right now, Doppler map shows clearer sky for a lot of places, and some of those clouds from that trough of lower pressure trying to exist here in conjunction with each other, even though it's pretty much like oil and water. Well, where there's a little bit of water in the atmosphere here from the Bayfield Peninsula through the UP, we are getting a couple of stray flurries, and those could continue overnight, but probably won't add up to much at all. And again, we're looking at a dry period now because of all the highs lined up to our west, keeping low pressure at bay for at least a week. Tonight in Minnesota, low temps, they will go 18 to 27. Into Wisconsin and Michigan, low temps will go 20 to 25. For tomorrow, partly sunny sky for Wisconsin and the UP, and warmer than normal with a range of high temps from 30 to 35. Minnesota numbers go 28 to 32, and that's warmer than normal because the normal is about 27. Partly cloudy sky because the high pressure cells will re-exert control over that little Weasley trough of lower pressure, and it stays on the dry side, and more often than not the sunny side all the way through next Thursday. High temps will be in the 30s, lows in the 20s for the most part. And, you know, I've been pinning my hopes on snow for the longest of time on a mere 10 to 15% chance for some flurries, maybe next Wednesday, Thursday. The latest model runs have indicated I better drop those hopes because we've dropped the chance for snow to about 5%.
Oh, man. Well, I know that you were really holding out hope for folks who were
you know, I like to get
that.
out and enjoy a little bit of snow, and a lot of businesses thrive on that stuff, but we're not getting it this week.
Not this week. Hopefully next. We'll see. Thanks, Dave. With the pandemic, outdoor dining has been one of the main ways businesses can continue serving their customers. Despite winter setting in, one Bayfield distillery is determined to make it work. Copper Crow Distillery owners Curtis and Linda Bosney are both members of the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians. After repeal of a federal law, Copper Crow became the first Native American-owned distillery in the area in 2018. Determined to stay open, they offered curbside pickup in the spring, but it wasn't enough to make ends meet. Sales didn't turn around until they added an outdoor patio.
It was a pretty interesting summer, and we're going into an even more interesting winter because we'll still be outdoors. Outside, we'll have hot drinks for the customers to enjoy. We've got the fire pits to keep them warm, but it'll be a challenge.
With a warm drink menu and socially distanced fire pits, Copper Crow hopes to keep outdoor service open all winter long. While drinks are only served on the patio, customers can head inside to shop for merchandise. The owners just ask that you put on a mask before heading inside. The holidays are near, and Northlanders are looking for ways to get into the holiday spirit. Along with the drive-through light show at Bentleyville, Duluth's Exhibition Drive also features a spectacular display. Ryan Kern, who has his house's display coordinated to music, says this light show has been a holiday tradition for a long time. If light shows aren't your thing, both Glensheen in Duluth and Fairlawn Mansion in Superior are offering holiday tours. Due to state pandemic restrictions, Glensheens are virtual this year. We'll have more details on our website. Coming up in sports, a light at the end of the tunnel for high school athletes. Kelly has the details next.
Move snow with your new John Deere from Duluth Lawn and Sport.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Hey, no cell phones at the table.
But it's Grandma.
Hi, Mom.
Slumberland's biggest Thanksgiving sale in 3 years is held over. You'll get an additional 25% off our already low prices at Slumberland.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
It's the season for streaming and the perfect time to power up all your devices with Extreme Internet. Call today and save with prices as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Go dashing through your shows with amazing speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Powerful in-home Wi-Fi and 99.99% network reliability. Enjoy the gift of high-speed entertainment for as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Dial 844-EXTREME2. Hurry, offer ends December 21st.
Okay, Mr. Medicare figure-outer. One last question. What's the cost?
For many, Part A is free. Cost goes up the more parts you add. But UCare has Medicare Advantage plans that come with everything you need.
Sounds good. And so does your bike. Now.
Yeah, thanks to you, she's purring like a kitten on a bed of yarn.
Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, I just made it up. You can steal it for your bike shop.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
We can help you at Ketamine North Infusion Center.
I was stuck in a gray area. The first treatment, I actually laughed and scared myself because I hadn't heard myself laugh in years.
Visit us online. Be well with us at Ketamine North Infusion.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day.
Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on live, local CBS3.
With all this family fun time, you need a good night's sleep. Come to Slumberland's huge Thanksgiving mattress sale and get an extra 25% off our already low prices. Get this Sealy Posturepedic Queen mattress for just $3.99. Only at Slumberland.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on live, local CBS3. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
There could very well be a light at the end of the tunnel for high school athletes sidelined by the pandemic. Today, the Minnesota State High School League Board of Directors met to determine how to move forward this month. The executive order from Governor Tim Walz has sports shut down until at least December 18th. But today, the Minnesota State High School League gave the all clear to start winter sports on December 21st if that order is not extended. If it is extended, the new start date would be either January 4th or the 18th. Once the governor makes a decision, they will begin discussing postseason formats and other dates as well. Stay tuned. Well, they sure made it interesting, but the Bulldog men's hockey team is off to a 2-0 start in the NCHC pod after another thrilling win over Denver last night, thanks to their power play, which is converting a staggering 44% through 2 games, including 4 third-period goals. And, of course, their sophomore goaltender Ryan Fanti, who kept UMD in the game and turned away a heavy barrage of Denver shots, especially in the second period when he was peppered with 18 Pioneer chances. In a goaltending competition that was wide open coming into the season, Fanti may have taken a big step forward.
He was seeing the puck well, and he did play with a lot of poise and calmness. And, I thought our team wasn't playing with that calmness, like we need to, and he was, thank God. But, again, it's a great sign. It's something I talked about last night. Hopefully the the Omaha game, his first start, getting that under his belt and winning, is a good confidence builder for him. This should be another one.
Compared to Omaha, they both got pucks to the net, but I found Denver was a little bit more patient, especially just not, being too antsy and throwing at the puck. They were definitely taking that extra second to finally get in the slot. But it's big, especially to come back in that third. So overall, good game.
And the Bulldogs are back in action on Sunday against Miami of Ohio. With 4 weeks to go until their season opener, the St. Scholastica men's hockey team hasn't had a full team practice since the first week of November. With a lack of consistent testing and the Minnesota Department of Health's ruling, the team has stayed prepared by hosting film sessions virtually, but it isn't always about the X's and O's. New head coach Kevin Moore has taken a more mental approach. Being positive and being present have been his main teaching points. He says regardless of having practice or not, he's confident that they will be ready to play.
Will it be pretty? Will it be as smooth as we'd like? No. But the mentality we're cultivating has nothing to do with timelines. And I think our guys have embraced that. And because of that, for me personally, I'm hopeful we're going to start on time. And guess what? If we don't, then we'll take January 1st as it comes. We'll take January 2nd as it comes. And I think our guys will be ready for that because that's what they've been doing since October.
The Saints are slated to open at St. Lawrence University on New Year's Day. And finally, just because I think they are the absolute sickest uniforms ever, the Timberwolves released their new City Edition uniforms on social media. The team was back in the building in downtown Minneapolis for practice this week, and they debuted their new City Edition jerseys. The latest Timberwolves City Edition uniform marks the 4th City Edition uniform for the franchise, and the 2021 editions pay homage to the North Star that shines bright to guide and unite the over 5.6 million people of the state of Minnesota. Ain't that a pretty picture? I gotta say, they're pretty sweet. That's gonna do it for sports for now. We'll have more here back tonight at 10, including highlights from the Loons playoff game against Sporting Kansas City. Kristen, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Well, check out this incredible video. A single-engine plane crash landed last night on Interstate 35W, according to the Minnesota State Patrol. The Belanca Viking made a suspected emergency landing at about 9:23 p.m. in Arden Hills, striking a vehicle on the interstate in the process. The State Patrol identified the pilot as 52-year-old Craig Gifford of Minneapolis. The northbound part of the interstate was closed for several hours as investigators reconstructed the crash. MnDOT cameras captured the incredible landing. Thankfully, no one was hurt. That's the biggest thing. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but wow, what an incredible landing there by that pilot. Dave, not too bad out there tonight.
No, not much snow landing in our region for the next week. Slight chance for a couple of stray snow showers for the snow belt tonight. And then the rest of the week gets to be high and dry from a whole line of high pressure cells taking over now almost the entire United States. High temps will be in the 30s, overnight low temps in the 20s.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.